Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 230 of the Good Morning Guys podcast, thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we talk about the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I am one of your hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novacell.
I'm digging the energy tonight.
Woo! We got it going.
This is good. Keep it up.
And then the final member of the GMG Quadfecta here with us tonight, because Marcus with a C, a.k.a. Carcass, is a...
Carcass?
is a corpus. Is a corpse.
Wait, if you spit your drink out, though, Pat, that would have been awesome.
You called him a carcass?
He's a carcass. That's Marcus with a C when he's not here with us.
Time I've ever heard that.
I apologize to everybody at home. This has been going on for like 10 minutes already.
Man, it just came out. I was really just trying to call him Mark with a C, Cark. And then I was like, well, he's also Marcus, and so now he's Carcass because he's dead. He's not here. He's not here. So yeah,
he is not with us.
Not with us. He's a carcass. All right. Who's not a carcass, but none other than the Rocket League and Beast of the East who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, Ronnie Johantis.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Whew. Okay, guys.
Straight face now.
things are getting real. Let's get serious for a sec. Just kidding. I have nothing to get serious about. It's good to be with you.
Yes, it is.
To laugh with you, to hang out with you. We're here to talk about life, so let's just jump right into it. If you're new joiner, this is the Good Morning Guys podcast. I already said that if you caught that between the cackles and the carcasses and everything else that came out of my mouth. If you're not new, well, you already knew this was coming, so it's no surprise. But we're going to jump into updates. I think we should go with old Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, do. There you go. There it is. The adopted music.
Come on down.
Yeah, we picked the right person. Patrick, give us an update. What's going on in life, games, Earl, Iffle, you name it, you got it.
Yes. So, okay. So, if you were here last week, I talked a little bit about Claire. Well, I talked a lot about Claire. But
yeah.
Update today, she had her second sinus surgery to remove the mesh that was opened up her sinuses to drain out all the the sinus stuff that was still there.
The sinus goodness.
Yeah, all the goodness.
Let it go out there. Mm-hmm.
But so they went in there, and there were still some things that were in there that didn't drain out. So in about 6 to 8 weeks, she's got to go back to have another procedure done to get all that gunk out. Which is we weren't expecting that, but it's unfortunate. But at least we're getting in there and making sure that she gets back to 100%.
Now, is that like a nasal scraping? Because I'll tell you what, there's been times I've been so congested.
Horrible.
No, it sounds horrible, but I tell you what, I'd love a good just clear it out.
I tell you what, she feels so much better now that stuff's most of it is gone. I'm
bet.
sure she's gonna feel even better once all of it is gone. So,
have you guys ever used the gel, like the Afrin that you like shoot up your nose when you're like all stopped up?
Oh yeah, like the Flonase and the saline.
So I only say this, Lucas, because this is the closest you're going to come to what you just described.
Oh really?
Because after using this stuff, man, you realize that you haven't been able to breathe your whole life.
The snot gates have opened, like they open up.
Oh man,
and
it just opened you wide. Like you can almost breathe in too much air.
That's
Stings.
Crazy. Yeah,
it stinks. I'm taking in too much oxygen. It's killing me. So that's the latest update on Claire. So I'll have more of an update in a couple months.
Sounds good.
On Clark front, let's talk about a little bit about Clark. I didn't talk about this last week because when I got back,
Clarkus?
Clarkus. Aurelius. He had last week, it was a pinewood derby he was doing with his Cub Scouts. So for those who don't know what pinewood derby is, I think it's, how do I explain this? You get a block of wood and you create a race car out of it.
Wow.
And so
Like
Yeah,
whittling,
you race
like
them
you
down
get
like
a
a big
little,
hill, right?
you get like a whittle
Yes.
knife, and you start carving out like a canoe, or
we
you put
could
wheels
have
on it.
we could have done that, but we went
Ooh.
to some guy who was like he had a garage full of just anything you needed to create something. Like he build and things like that. So we went
Okay,
over
cool.
there, and he was able to carve a car for Clark out of this block of wood. And Clark had all these ideas about his car, and he knew exactly what it was going to look like. He wanted it to be, like a swoop, like a very cool like race car. And he was with this guy. This guy kind of like held his hand while he held it up to the sander and all that stuff. So
Nice.
he created his own car, designed it himself.
Wow.
He drew on it, he colored it, he painted it all the way he wanted to. And so I'm like, this looks like an 8-year-old has made this. It looks exactly like it should. And so I'm like, okay, I wonder how this is gonna do against 30 other kids. And so we get there, and there's like 30 cars in this like car bank, and I'm looking at them, and they look so professional.
like kids didn't actually make them.
Like kids didn't do it. Yeah,
It's just like the
"Get outta here.
projects.
I'm making this. We're winning this thing this year.
Yeah, when you go, this is the same thing that happens at school when they do projects, and you help your kid and make them do most of it, and then you go to school and you see some of the projects the kid have, and you're like, you're a liar.
yeah.
You didn't do that.
Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, or your parent made it for you.
Yeah, like Clark did everything, and which
Yeah.
was
Well, that's awesome. Good
with
for Clark.
supervision, and
He's a real winner.
He did it all, and so I get there, and I'm like, oh, these are cars that you would probably buy on the shelves at a store, kind of thing. These are really, really well done. So I'm like, I don't know how this car is gonna do.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of kids go before him, and then you get to race 4 times, and there's like 4 tracks within this track, so he races once on each track, because I guess to determine like the average of all of them.
Yeah. This is like gravity taking you down. Like there's no engines or anything propelling. It's all
wooden. It's all self-propelled. It's just
Yeah.
like gravity
Taking it old
self-propelled,
school.
So it goes down a hill and it goes across a finish line. And so
that's fun. I had no idea they still did that kind of stuff. That's really cool.
And they apparently do it every year. So this was Clark's first venture, because it's his first year in the Cub Scouts. And the first race happened against 3 other cars. They hit the go, and they dropped like the little start, which is kind of like, if you think of like motocross, they have that, all the bikes are up against it, and then they drop it and they can all go. That's the way it was for this. They drop it and then they just go down this hill and go like, I don't know, it's probably like, 10 yards, maybe no, that might be too far.
A little more, right?
Maybe 7, maybe 10 yards, maybe like 30 feet. I think that's as far as as far as it can go.
30 feet is 10 yards?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the first
that's
race
right.
goes, and he gets first place. He
Really?
gets
Nice.
he gets all 3 cars. I'm like, whoa. This is okay. So Clark just sits there, and he has like a small little smirk, because he doesn't want to like show up the other kids, kind of thing, which was very good sportsman of him. And so the second race goes, and he wins that race. Third race goes, he wins that one.
What?
Fourth race goes, he
Let's
wins
go.
that one, and so he won all 4 races. So and it was against his own pack. So like within this, his den. So the whole 30 kids is a pack, and then based on their grades was a den, and he had like 5 kids within his den. He beat all of it. He beat people within his den, and then after you get that first place within your den, you get sent off to the finals. And so that was against the first place winners for all the dens within the pack. And dude, some of these cars were just super, super fast. And he got second place once in one of his 4 races, but the other cars was just this much faster than his. So I think there were like 6 or 7 finalists, and he got 4th place. So he didn't win. Nice. He didn't win overall, but for his first time doing it, getting a first place medal. He didn't get one of the big trophies at the end, because 4th place didn't get anything. But it was a really, really good first time. I'm really
Sweet.
glad that he got, a medal, because not everybody got a medal. There's a first, second, and third place within each den. And if there's more than 3 people and the kids in a den, you don't get a medal, which was like, I felt bad for the kids that didn't get a medal, but it also, not every, that's life.
Yeah.
You gotta
have some winners and losers.
You gotta
to
teach
work
the kids
for next year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So, like the other kids were really, some of the kids had really cool cars. So other kids were really excited about the other cars, even though they didn't win. Really cool cars, kids giving high fives and, rooting each other on, which was kind of fun to see.
Nice. Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Congrats, Clark.
But yeah, outside of that, on the IFL front, on the gaming front, I haven't talked about this. I'm not sure if I talked about this, but I played a ton of Vampire Survivors. That's that top-down bullet hell game, roguelike game where you just have to beat these levels, and these levels are where after every minute of the level, more enemies come. Different enemies come after every minute, and after so long, then you get a boss.
It gets ridiculous.
Every 5 minutes, there's like a boss, and each boss gets progressively harder and harder as you get on. And then once you hit the 30-minute mark, then death comes, and he's the hardest, boss.
And I haven't made it there yet.
But I tell you what, when you're playing this game and you get to the 30-minute mark, it feels like it's been 3 minutes because it's so much going on. So many upgrades that you have to do within each level. Because if you die, it ends, and you have to start all over.
You just never look away for a second either. Like you just can't. You don't have like a second to look up and answer somebody. Like if you do, you're gonna die.
Well, up to a point. There's some of these things where you grab the garlic, or you grab the Bible, you upgrade that to a fully upgrade.
Dude, the garlic is so good.
You can just sit there, and as the enemies are coming at you, they just die. And so there's times where you can look away. But you can pause the game, which is nice. So if you pause the game, it doesn't like continue in the background. That game was so much fun. I played maybe 45 hours of that game. I got to the point where all I had left to do was defeat death, because I hadn't defeated him. There's a way to defeat him. But I got my fill in that game. I was thinking about going for all the achievements. I think maybe had like 8 achievements left.
Didn't get that Xbox plat?
No, I mean, I got over it's like 1,300 gamer score,
right.
And I think
you got over 1,000 though.
Yeah, I think I got over 1,000, or maybe it's like 970 or something like that. Whatever. Yeah. So, I got my fill for it. I enjoyed it. But it was when I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not really having any fun anymore.
Nice.
But yeah, after 40 to 45 hours, then not having fun. Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun game. It was one of those games.
That's crazy.
I think it has like 130 or something like that achievements. So almost every run you do, you're getting an achievement for whatever it is. So
I love that. I have a weakness for that.
Yeah.
I might have to. It's free on Game Pass as
you would like this game.
His tradition, so I might have to check it out.
Yeah, really fun game.
I played it on your recommendation, Pat.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the 4th level currently. I'm on the 4th level. How many characters are there? Are there 10?
No, there's like 20 different characters.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was maybe at the end because I reached the end of one row. But yeah, I've actually, my last like couple of runs have been like not that great. Like I don't know if I've just been like distracted or whatever, but I'm like, man, I gotta come back to this game. I can't do this right now. I think my longest run was like 22 minutes so far.
Oof. Now is it actual minutes? Like you have to last an actual real life 30 minutes?
Actual.
It's just a constant barrage from all directions. Like constantly.
I mean, if you're constantly getting attacked, 30 minutes, that seems like it'd be a long time, but
it does not seem like a long time at all.
I mean, you're collecting coins and leveling up the whole time. So like you're kind of pushing to level up a whole time.
Yeah.
And
you got stuff to kind of like
and also
give you little carrots on a stick and stuff.
After you die, it's kind of like Hades feel, where after you die, you're like, just one more run. Just one more run.
Those are dangerous.
But those one more runs can take a long time in Hades or in Vampire Survivors. You're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done another run because I can't stop now because I'm
when you're like 20 minutes in, you're like, this was a mistake.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm currently in a lull right now.
Yeah.
WWE 2K22 for me has been shelved for now.
What?
Yes, because in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, WWE 2K23 is coming out. So I'm gonna be, putting that aside.
Is this gonna mess with your numbers? Like you're gonna hit a ceiling because you're not gonna want to go back to 22. You're gonna want to just go all in on 23, right?
Yeah, I played over 300 hours in 22, so I've gotten my fill. Also, a lot of the creators that have been updating all of the wrestlers and adding new things in there, they've said that they're done with 22 and they're going to take a break and wait for 23, which is another one of the huge reasons why I played 22 is because they continue to add more content on the community creations, which is really cool. So if they're going to be done, then I've already gotten the platinum for it. I don't need to play anymore. Really looking forward to 23. So I'm in a lull right now. I'm going to play. I just got Dead Space from Gamefly. So I'll be playing Dead Space for, I guess, the next week or so before Hogwarts Legacy comes out in like 10 days. So, but yeah.
Do you are you like a Harry Potter fan? I don't know if we've ever had this discussion.
I've watched them all. I enjoy all of it. I've watched them all twice, once by myself and once with my daughter. And I enjoyed each one of them.
We'll allow it.
So I'm looking forward to the open world of Hogwarts and being able to can I RPG myself into a wizard of sorts.
Yeah, Elizabeth is a big Harry Potter fan, and I listened to the first 3 audiobooks. Like I was like, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And I listened to them, and honestly, like they were pretty good. I didn't have an issue. I just didn't have the fire to continue. So like I don't want to start another one. And I watched through some of the movies, and I also fell off before I made it like halfway through on the movies as well.
Oh, really?
I don't know. For me, I don't know. It just doesn't grab me the same. I think the world is cool. I mean, the universe that they built is awesome. There's some really cool things. And honestly, I'll probably play Hogwarts Legacy just because I think it's going to be an awesome
especially
game.
You're going to be able to play with people and like be in the same, shared world and all that jazz. So there's definitely a chance you'll dig it.
Give me the open world stuff.
Open world and
so I can drink it.
Yeah, and joining other real life people. Like maybe Eric will play it, or you can join Patrick. Maybe even I'll play it. You never know.
Maybe Swisher Plus.
Maybe. That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me, man.
There you go. All right, Ronnie. How about you, my friend? How's life? How's gaming?
All right. So I haven't been here in some time. Last week I was out.
That's true.
Back
from the dead.
Game. Back from the dead. Yeah, I was legally dead for a full week, and then I came back to life. I'll start with video games. The Vampire Slayer is what I was going to talk about. It is a really good like kill the time game. If you're in between games, like I probably will keep that game on my Xbox for a long period of time because it is one of those games where it's like get a run in, in 20 or 30 minutes and like just have a good time with it. Mm-hmm. It is really fun. There's something about the really simple arcade games that will just never go away. You know what I mean? That it has horrible graphics. But man, it is so much fun. It is addicting. I think the first time I played it, I think I played like 5 runs in a row, and I played for like 3 hours. Like
nice.
So yeah, it is a really fun game. A new game that we just started playing, maybe like 2 weeks ago. It's called Gunfire Reborn. It's on Game Pass. I don't know if you guys have seen this. So what it is, you start over every time. So kind of like a Hades, like a roguelite type deal. However, it is multiplayer. You can play with up to 4 players co-op. So me and 3 of my other buddies have played, and it's really fun. It's a first-person shooter, but basically the idea of it is to you upgrade along the way, like as you go.
Cool.
So
nice.
I think we've made it to like the 3rd world. Maybe I think we made it to the 3rd boss, but got dominated. Apparently there's 6 worlds, so it is actually pretty difficult from what I can gather. But really fun game. You can play with your buddies and stuff.
Nice.
Graphics aren't awesome. You get you start off with a cat wearing he looks like Puss in Boots from Shrek. Like he looks almost exactly like that. And he has a hat like that.
Is that your character, or is that
that's the character you start off with?
Okay.
Yeah,
but it's first person, so you don't really see the cat.
You don't. You just see other cats.
Okay. Yeah, true.
No, you don't. You start off as that character, and as you go, as you basically level up, you unlock more characters. I think the character I'm playing as right now is like a. When I bought him, I thought it was like a hedgehog. He was like a really cool looking hedgehog with like snowboarder goggles on, and he has a turtle shell, which I have no idea what he even is. But he's like a melee character. He's pretty awesome.
So is he a hedgehog or is he a turtle? Or is
I
he
don't
a
know.
cat dressed up as a hedgehog turtle?
They don't give you really like what they actually are. There's clearly a cat. There's clearly a dog. And then there's some other stuff. There's a bird. There's like a bunch of.
And what's it called again? Gunfire Reborn?
Gunfire Reborn. Yeah. It's been really fun, honestly. The only issue with it is one of those games where you start a run and that run could last all night. Like, depending on how good you're playing.
Yeah.
It's a long journey for sure. But we've been playing that with 3-4 people, and yeah, man.
Cool.
It's
like
been,
local co-op, I imagine.
No.
All online?
Yeah, all online.
All right.
That was one of the reasons we downloaded it initially.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because we could all play together, and it's just a really fun game. I mean, the mechanics are easy. But yeah, it can be frustrating. Like some of those bosses, like they're ridiculous. So
they should have called it like Furry Fire Reborn, like because you're just a bunch of furry animals. So
yeah. But no, there's a ton of different guns, and there's tons of different upgrades for those guns, like the drops. You get like rare drops and stuff like as you're playing. It's just it's super in depth and really, you're just trying to. It's kind of like in Hades or any of those games we played where you're trying to like stack up, trying to use like different skills with each other to see what the most powerful build you can get.
Nice.
So it's interesting. Every time it's different. You have different stuff, different weapons, different skills. So that's the game we're kind of playing right now. Still doing a little bit of Rocket League, but not too terribly much. On the TV side, I don't know if I talked about this, but I did finish Game of Thrones. I don't know if I talked about that on the show or not.
You talked about it last week with Marc, with Carcass. Sorry, I almost said
I
Marc.
wasn't here last week.
That guy's dead. It's Carcass.
I did finish the show.
Oh, nice. Now, are you going back to the prequel show, the newer one?
The House of Dragons show?
Yeah.
I have not yet, but I will.
Okay.
I will because I think that Game of Thrones is one of those like worlds that are just I think everything is going to be
pretty epic.
Yeah, it's just like when Star Wars comes out with anything, you're like, well, it's in the Star Wars universe, so it's probably gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So yeah, I probably will watch that. The show did. I knew about the last season before
final season
going
thoughts.
in. Yeah, I knew about it going in, so I think it was maybe a little bit different. They just rushed it. They just rushed it, and it seemed like they just tried to close all the storylines, within 6 eepisodes. So it felt like that.
Yeah, that's never healthy. That's never.
I didn't love
good.
the ending myself. Like the ending's like, I don't really, I guess it's not a spoiler anymore. Was it been off for like 5 years? But no, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like who they selected king. I didn't like what happened with Jon Snow. Like all of a sudden, this like main character throughout the whole 7 seasons, they're just like, okay, you're not doing anything anymore. You're going back to the wall. We don't care about you. It's like, What are we talking about? You mean the guy that should be king? But yeah, no, it was it was a good show, man. It was fun to watch all the way through. And even though the ending wasn't exactly what I thought, like it was still really cool. Still pretty grand at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see him stretch it out a little bit longer, but I can't complain about it.
All right.
Outside of that, I started watching a show called 1923, which is the Yellowstone spinoff.
Yeah.
With oh crap,
Kevin Costner,
no.
People,
Matthew
No,
McConaughey,
with Han Solo in it.
Oh,
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. I almost said Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
He's definitely not Han Solo.
No, it's been really good. I've only watched 4 seasons. I don't know, or 4 episodes. I don't know if that is still playing. Like I guess I just don't watch enough like TV to know these things,
Right.
But I guess it's in the middle of a season, so I had to wait until a little while before some more episodes come out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it pretty much on the TV front.
Okay.
On the life front, man, it has been a crazy one.
Yeah?
It is a crazy one. I have let's see, let me think of how to say this. So last week Elizabeth was sick, and we're in this small apartment, so when she's not feeling good and asleep, there's really no way to do the podcast. But that would be because she's pregnant.
What? I was like,
we're
so
gonna
help
have a
me,
baby.
Ronnie. If you don't say she's pregnant, I'm going to be so disappointed. Dude.
Yeah, that's why. That's why she's sick.
Congratulations, man.
You guys are not fooling around.
Thank you.
I mean, I guess you
Oh.
are fooling around, but you know what I mean. That's awesome.
Is that how
dude.
it happened?
Congrats. Wait, what? I touched her belly button, and then all of a sudden,
I was wondering what the heck happened. Yeah,
dude,
she
that's
is.
awesome.
We actually
Oh,
just told
so
our
good.
we told our parents this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
How'd you
we
tell
had
them? Did you do something crazy, or were you just like, hey, guess what?
No, not anything too crazy. Elizabeth ordered these like cards, and they were kind of basically like the one for my mom and my stepdad and my dad and stepmom. They said the best parents on the front, and then inside we slipped a little picture of the
Sonogram.
yeah, sonogram. I can never remember what it's called. Of the sonogram, and it said become grandparents or something like that. The best parents
Yeah.
become great grandparents or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that's
Something cool like
Nice.
that. So
Yeah.
my
Sweet.
mom was totally surprised. I've been lying to her for weeks now. I've known for a while.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I've known
That's
for a while.
always fun.
It's the worst keeping a secret, really, like that you're excited about.
Yeah.
But no, we
It
told
is.
her. Mama cried a little bit, so that was
I mean,
that's always great in that context. But yeah, it's been it's been Elizabeth has been sick the entire time. Like she has just been
you know
nauseous.
what? Same thing for Mindy. How far? I
Yeah.
mean, it may be
She's 12
TMI,
weeks.
but okay, she's 12 weeks along.
Yeah.
So she should, if
We're hoping
math
that-
checks out, she should be turning a corner soon because that's
We're hoping that's
it's
too.
very common for the first trimester to have nausea. Mindy had it like crazy.
Yeah.
She ate citrus, like oranges and stuff, and animal crackers. That's all she could
Does
eat when
citrus help?
Natasha. It helped her, but she might want to try it.
We have like a sleeve of saltine crackers like in every room in this
Yeah.
apartment. Like if I walk into the bathroom, there's just like
gotta
a
be
sleeve
ready.
of saltine crackers sitting there, like because she has them like at every station.
You get a little snack while you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I
you-
feel terrible. She's just been like so super sick.
Yeah,
Like,
it's rough.
so
It is rough.
I've been just,
That's awesome, though.
I'm pretty much waiting on her hand and foot. Honestly, I got a little maid outfit that I put on, and I
I
just
mean, that's your
go
job
back and forth,
because
man.
you already did the hard work, as it were.
I just-
So now she's got to do the rest.
I mean, when you boil it down to what our contribution is, it's pretty
sad.
pathetic. It's
It
pretty
is very pathetic. Where you're like, yeah, we're pregnant, and like, no, you're not. She's pregnant.
Yeah,
You're
it's like when
just
you get
along for the
congratulated
ride.
at the father. You're like, well, thanks.
Thanks.
you.
I don't want to
Did
talk
the one
about
thing
what
that
I did, but you know what I did.
want to do all the time with her.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
That's
appreciate
awesome,
that.
dude.
It's definitely cool.
I'm glad. It sounds like you did your announcement right too. Let me tell you real quick how we did our announcement. We also did a card, except we mailed it to my mom, my dad, and to like a dozen or 2 dozen people that we thought should know.
They got 'em
We
at
did
different
not
times.
think about the speed at which people would get the letters. And we should have prioritized the parents, because what happened is one morning our neighbor lady checks the mail, and why we sent it to my neighbor lady, I don't know. In hindsight, I'm like, why did we send it to her at the same time as our own parents? But we did. And she walks out from getting her mail and just yells to my mom, "Hey, congratulations, Lucas and Mindy are pregnant." And she's like, "What?"
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
well, I heard it. I
Yeah.
heard about that I still hear about it from time to time. Remember that time you told our neighbor that you were pregnant before you told us? I'm like, I didn't tell her before. I didn't plan it right. Okay. So you did it right. Tell the parents first, then tell other people.
I think if I would have told somebody before my mother, she would have absolutely ended my life.
Yeah. You would have had no more chance at children. Well, you already gave her what she wanted, so she doesn't need you anymore. So
That's true. She could just take me out now.
she could.
I think she likes Elizabeth better, anyways.
She probably does. That's how it usually works.
So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I should have let you go last. I can't follow that.
I honestly, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to tell you guys pre-show or not, and I was like, yeah.
I'm
not
so
gonna do
glad
that.
you saved it for the show.
Yes. Always save it for the show.
The only thing I'm sad about is Mark wasn't here, and I'd be like, Mark, you're next. So he'd start sweating. I'd be like, no, I'm not ready.
Get in there.
Get in there, man. What's funny is you like for a quick second you build it up, and I was like, oh, could this be it? But Mark has like multiple times built us up only to tell us he's going to be an uncle. And I'm just like, Marc, stop it. And you built us up and you came through. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm not going to follow it up. I'm just going to share my life, and please don't compare joiners. And
Good luck with that.
know that it's not going to be much. It's not even going to compare to having a baby.
Lucas, what do you have?
I'm going to be a granddad. No, I'm going to be my own grandpa. Patrick's so proud.
we were in the hospital, and it was the last day we were there, and we were listening to music, and I put on like all my favorite hits, and I had the first music. The first song was "On My Own Grandpa." It's so stupid. I love it.
That's such a stupid song. I love it.
know it is.
I love that you love it. All right. Speaking of other things you love, Marvel Snap. Let's get into it real quick. That's all of a sudden the temperature in the room.
I've been waiting 2 weeks.
No, what is going on with
have.
Marvel Snap?
Dude, Marvel Snap. What do you think's going on with Marvel Snap?
Nothing.
I don't know. Cards.
Cards. There are cards.
Probably.
There are cards involved. And let me tell you what came out today, my friend. We're going to at least play one match at some point. We got friend battles so we can play each other.
Whoa.
It's going to be fantastic, and I'm going to destroy you. It's going to be great.
I can't wait to just be like, slide this over here. All right, slide that over here.
You
I
beat
can't wait
me.
to tell you
Deleted.
that.
Yeah. Oh no! Darn it!
I can't wait to tell you that I'm not doing that.
It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all good.
no.
Well,
But
we're
seriously,
nearing.
how's it going? Are you
Seriously.
are you level 100 yet?
I'm level
the
1
Grandmaster?
million. I'm the Grandmaster. No, actually, I've been on the struggle bus this season. Last season, I think I got up to like 93, and this one I can't get past 80. Like
93, like you're
93 out of 100
in the world.
No.
Okay.
It's the ranks work pretty much. You're working your way up to infinite level, which is 100. You can go beyond. There are crazy people who have gotten 150, 160, like just keep going and keep climbing and winning. I'm not that good or even close to it. But last season, I got up to 93. This season, I got to 79 and a half. And then I went on a losing streak and went down to the 60s. And then I've been hovering right around the mid 70s or the lower 70s.
Yeah.
But my luck's turned around this week, my friends. I got Jane Foster, the Mighty Thor.
Okay.
Which was really cool because you can combine her with regular Thor, and when you play her, she calls his hammer for him, and then you use the hammer to make him more powerful. So it's pretty cool. The other thing I got was Daredevil, and on the 5th turn out of 6, you get to see what your opponent's going to do, and so you can plan accordingly and
So
counterattack.
the blind guy can see.
Exactly. That's the irony of Daredevil.
That's
he
funny.
lets you see what card they're going to play, which is pretty cool. It's a cool little feature. I just bought it with my collector's tokens that you get just by upgrading cards and such.
Have you actually put any real money into the game, or do people just put real money into it and buy all the cards?
Put real money, and there are people who have put real money. So I'm currently at collector level, I think 2300. There's a guy last week who got to level 22 or 23,000, and he hit the ceiling. He had unlocked everything.
Wow.
That guy has no life.
I wonder how much money he put into.
I can't imagine how you have to spend money to get that high that fast. It can be super expensive, like to get gold, like get some of the currency. Now there's some things that are super cheap, like $5 here. The season pass is $10. Now if you do it every single month, $10 a month can definitely add up. But it's free, so if you want to do a month or two, I've done 2 months just to kind of build a good base, and some of the cards were cool. So I've invested some money, and I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of it. But that dude or gal who got 22,000, 23,000, I don't know what they did, but they did it. And they unlocked all the cards, and I don't know if they're really going to find enjoyment out of it, because once you stop unlocking cards and getting progression, I can't imagine the game being as exciting. But what is exciting?
He just likes dominating everybody else.
I mean, I guess if you get your kicks out of just destroying people, which, speaking of that,
which I do.
I did that starting today. So I think my luck's turned around. Jane Foster,
somebody today.
Jane Foster helped, and then Daredevil also helped. But today I got Galactus. And so this is how Galactus works. I don't know if you're familiar, Ronnie. Are you familiar with Galactus from
I'm not.
the Fantastic Four movies? Or he's pretty much a huge planet-sized being, and he consumes planets to survive. And
It's gonna sound crazy. So how does anybody ever defeat him then?
well, so here's the thing. They give cool abilities, but when they give super strong abilities, they usually don't give you good like strong power. Like the cards are supposed to synergize and all that stuff. But the big ability of Galactus is when you play him, if you play him, you always get 3 locations to play on. You can just choose any location. And each location has like a feature or a special event or something that happens. And if you play him by himself in a location, all other locations are destroyed. All other cards are destroyed. And you just play in that location. But he can only be played potentially in a standard issue on the last play, and he's only worth 2 power. So you either had to build up, you either had to like do things to weaken the other side, the other opponent, or push when you can play him earlier. So like for me, I have a card, I have Electro, and he gives you more energy, so I can play him on turn 5, and then on turn 6, I can add an extra card that's going to give power and help me win. He is super cool. Like so far, I've only played him 3 times, but I'm 3 for 3. And he just wrecks shop. And either you win super good or people just run away as soon as you do. Because it's the only card that has like this animation where it like blows stuff up and it backs up and his hand comes down and like blows up all the locations. It's really fun to watch. It'll probably get really old after like the 2,000th time. But
Do you play like for the most part the same like 6 cards?
no, you usually
powerful ones, or
you have to make a build of 12 cards in order to get out there. And there are so many different combinations. I don't even know how many cards I've unlocked, but yeah. So you make builds of 12 cards, and you can have, I've maxed it out to 20 builds, different builds, like destruction builds with like Venom. You have discard builds with Hela. That's a pretty cool one that I got a couple weeks ago, where you throw her down and any card that you've discarded just comes back. So she brings an army of the undead, and that can be pretty OP if you do it right. But yeah, so that's the end, Patrick. You can unmute me and
having the time of his life.
Rejoin the conversation. Yeah, I'm loving Marvel Snap still, even with the slump. It's still my side game just for fun, because I have not played any other video games. And it's no longer now because I don't want to. It's because I don't have time to, and I don't have the energy to. I have rejoined the 9-to-5ers, and I am weak sauce. I am a huge weakling. Like, I have not done it in 15 years, since 2007, and I've atrophied in my ability to work a 9-to-5 and live to tell the tale. So
it's horrible.
Dude, it's awful. It's just like I get home and I'm like, I have no will to live. And then there's dishes all over the sink, and the kids are like, help me with homework. I need this. The dog, yeah. We come from work. I mean, I love, being with the family and being with people more. It's great. The job that I'm doing, yeah, it really is. I'm an extrovert at heart, and so I'm energized by it. But I'm still like.
Well, when you're
drained.
When you're high energy
into the thing,
on for 9 hours a day,
yeah,
you get home, you're like, oof, now you come off that high, and when you come off that high, it really just it does.
Oh yeah,
you. That
there's
car,
been a few days.
Even if that car ride home is only like 10 minutes, you're like, oh, that's 10 minutes. That just sitting down really gets to you.
Yeah. Oh, it really does. Like you just stop, and all of a sudden you're like. Like you just breathe and just let it all out. And like teaching class for, they do block scheduling. So my classes are an hour and a half long. It's a long time. And
it is a long class.
I really hope and pray that next school year they change it to something shorter. I do build in like a 5-minute break for the kids, but it's like giving them a little break. Snap. Yeah.
All right, we're all taking a 5-minute break.
Everybody get out your phones.
Yeah. Well, what's funny. So I've been learning and adjusting very quickly.
Teaching a Marvel Snap class.
It's like, all right, guys, Marvel Snap time. No, the first class I had, I was like, guys, and this was a way to like incentivize them to really focus and pay attention. My first class is 7th grade. They're like little goldfish or little, squirrel, like little dugs, a bunch of little dugs that are easily distracted. And I was like, listen, the more focus you give me now, the more likely I am to give you a break and to give you like a water break, a bathroom break, whatever. And we got to the point where they were ready. Like they needed a little break. They needed to get up and move because it had been 45 minutes, almost an hour. And I was like, you need a break. Kids have like a 10-minute attention span. If not
there comes a point where it's just like they're not going to be able to focus anymore. They need that
glazed
break.
Over. Yeah. So I gave them the break. And I did not anticipate. So how it works is in class, at the beginning of class, the standard is we have a little cell phone box, or we have some people you put on the back of the door like a shoe. You know those shoe cubbies?
Yep. Yeah.
Like where you tuck them in. Instead of putting shoes, you put your cell phone.
Okay.
And so that's like the standard for pretty much every class. When you come into class, put your phone away. You don't need it. We're going to do pen, paper, notebook, old school. Because kids can't they can't handle the temptation. Adults we can't handle the temptation. So how in the world can we expect a 7th grader?
I'm sorry, what was that?
This podcast has gone on for about 45 minutes. I'm about out of here.
This has been way too long. We've already lost most of our 7th grade listeners. So, so I send them on their break and they like zoom to their cell phones. And all of a sudden they're watching YouTube videos about like some weird Spider-Man character that is probably not PC and very just off the wall, and they're like, Mr. Ham, because my teacher name is Mr. Ham. Like some of them call me Mr. Swisher, but I'm like, that makes me feel old. Please call me Mr. Ham.
You are old, though.
Yeah, well, I am old, but I don't like to act like I'm old. So
but they're showing me to 7th graders.
Oh, 7th graders,
like
I'm like Moses. It's like, can you show us the original 10 commandments? Do you have those in your back pocket? I know you do. But yeah, so they grab their phones and the
big
5
pockets.
minutes.
We got Jinko jeans.
The 5-minute break turned into more like 10-minute breaks. Like they spread out, like they were on their phones, and then all of a sudden there's like a gang of kids near the cafeteria. There's a gang of kids near the ping pong table,
so they can't go
and I'm just like, what have I done? I've lost all of them.
You're gathering sheep.
Yeah, pretty much. I've gathered sheep. I'm like, I'm gonna have to put like shock collars on these kids and just like press the button.
Ever heard them up?
Yeah, I can.
Everyone, turn on your location services on your phone.
You have 5 minutes to break. If you take 6 minutes, I'm sending Rayla after you. And, you just see this dog, like, attacking small children.
I told him.
Tackling them. Yeah.
Just dragging them up one at a time.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. I'm definitely going to take Rayla next time. So I did tell a kid that their birthday was...
I feel a complaint coming from a parent.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, you know what? I'm done with this 9 to 5. This is my
He's
out.
got a dog guarding the door. We're not even allowed to leave.
That's right. But one thing I like to do with my students, and I did this at the last school that I taught at, is I like to, the first day of class, have them fill out a note card to give like some of their information, like their name, their birthday, favorite movies, favorite book of the Bible, characters, etc. And when I get to know them and I start, doing attendance and I'd like to just throw out little facts. And there was in my 7th grade class, there's someone that shares the same birthday as my dad. There's a kid that's one day off from Mindy's birthday. There's another kid that's one day off from Natasha's birthday. And there's one kid that's one day off from Rayla's birthday. And so when I told that kid last that he was one day off of my dog's birthday, he was like super excited. And then I said my dog, and he was like, "Are you serious?" I share your dog's birthday.
I thought you were coming
That's
with another
lame.
family member also, not the dog.
Yeah, exactly. I could see it in his face. He was like, "Oh, cool. Oh, not cool. I'm sharing a dog's birthday."
I mean, but
Woohoo.
seriously, I'd rather be one day closer to a dog's birthday.
Right?
I mean,
dogs are the best. They're fantastic.
They are the
but anyways,
bestest.
They are the bestest. But yeah, so getting back to school has been tough. I teach 7th grade and 10th grade Bible. There are definitely a variety of kids and a variety of interests in the Bible and a variety of attention spans. There are some kids that amaze me already with what they know, how excited they are to learn about the Bible. And there are other kids that any inch of time I give for them to go, "Can I go to the bathroom? Did you watch the latest Star Wars? What's your favorite Star Wars trilogy?" Like they look for any chance to interject randomness. And you know me, like my personality shines through in chaos. So these kids ask a question, and instead of saying, "No, we're going to focus on the material," I'll be like, "Well, actually."
Be like, "No, we're not talking about that Empire Strikes Back, but we'll get back to that.
yeah, exactly. Let me interject my answer, but then carry on. I do exactly just that.
Yeah.
And when they're like, "Isn't Jar Jar Binks the best?" and I'm like, "Get out. You are in detention. You fail. I give you a
Go
0.
to the principal's office right now.
Right now. Yeah, you know what you did. Yeah. So it's cool. It's been great, but it's been very tiring. And so yeah, I'm back. I'm back in the working world, and I'm teaching class, having meetings, doing discipleship for Bible studies, and I'm back in the school culture. So
But you said discipleship.
It's been fun.
I thought you were saying disciple and then a bad word after it. Like,
Oh my.
Whoa.
disciple
Whoa,
junk.
hey, disciple
I
junk.
thought it was coming. I was like, oh, whoa.
No, none of that. None of that. But yeah, I think besides disciple junk, no.
Whoa.
Besides discipleship, in school, like there's not really been anything else going. I'm kind of pulling a Patrick and a Ronnie and just glancing over my pictures just to make sure I covered
that's
everything.
the only way I can learn
And I'm
what
just
I
kinda
did like
did
today.
I miss anything? I've just been living, eating, and breathing school life.
Have you found
prep.
yet where you think you'll be able to interject games in the future?
Honestly,
When you get energy again?
when I get energy again, I think what it's going to be is I'm for sure going to play Saturday mornings. So
Okay.
I got my 1 day a week
You
locked
better
in.
make that good for now.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to make
Don't
it
play
good.
junk games.
In the past, no junk games. I'm going to do my best to play only good games. In the past, I got up early.
Junk discipling.
No junk discipling games. Discipleship game. This is fun. No. In the past, I got up at the butt crack of dawn to play video games, and I've tried to get up at butt crack of dawn, and then I've immediately shut my alarm off and gone back to sleep. Like both times I've tried. So I'm not there yet. I think I will. So that's just
I
gonna
will
be
tell you
what it
though,
is.
like,
Tell me.
if early morning gaming was the only kind of gaming, I would never game
Yeah.
ever. Like,
I get
I would
that.
never be able to wake up in the morning and like start gaming. Like that would the morning me is not a nice person.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I'm in that phase right now. Like, it's really frustrating during break. I just all of a sudden my desire to game just tanked. I just played Marvel Snap because it was just easy at my fingertips and just quick and simple. And then when I was finally getting like I think last week, Patrick, you were talking about, or maybe Marc was, or somebody was talking about games and being in the Discord. I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to get back into it. And then I started this new job and I just don't have it. But it's a phase. It'll pass.
Yeah.
And I'll recalibrate. I won't be out forever. But so that's pretty much my update is
All right.
Marvel Snap and disciple junk.
There you go.
Discipleship junk. So sweet. So is that it? Do we have any did any joiners give any updates, or
I don't think
they
we
more
did a
concerned
call
about
out for
video
that
games?
this week.
No, I guess not.
We
All
did
right,
a
fair
call
enough.
out for video games, which you can listen to
right
after this
next.
later this week.
That's right. But first, we want to share with you. No, we want you to share with us. Dang it, I messed that up. We want you to share with us what's new in your neck of the woods since no one did it this week. This is your chance now. Stop everything. Get on Discord, get on Twitter at the GMG podcast, or however you can find us. I think there's a link somewhere. I'm skipping ahead because I haven't done this. I've done this in a week, but it feels like forever.
Linktree.
Linktree.com/the GMG pod. Click on those links. Tell us what's going on with you. What's new in your neck of the woods? That's how we do our housekeeping. That's how we start it. We offer you towels, fluff pillows, Andy's candies, tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. I don't know why I'm being so aggressive, but I am. We're on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, all those good things. We're on YouTube, Twitch. Marc is twitching from time to time.
And TikToking from time to time.
He's TikToking from time to time.
Yeah.
Captain Bacon, man. Tim Pollen, the Iowa Doan. I don't remember what it's.
Iowa Doan. I love that
Iowa
one.
Doan. He's also twitching, so
Idaho.
check him out. Idahoan. I'm gonna stop. Check him out. He's a cool guy. He's a cool kid. I love him. Yeah, Patreon, merch page. Throw a coin to your podcasters. We appreciate it. Gear up with us. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser. You can give us exclamation mark, stars, feedback. You can let your voice be heard. 929 GMG guys. Call right now. Stop. Pause. Call. Leave a message.
Everybody, if give us your life update via voicemail at 929 GMG guys.
You know what? This is
next week, our voicemail week.
We want it. Yeah, we're gonna. If you really show up, I don't know if I want to give it a number. I want to say if we get 10, but that might be too far. If we get 7, the number of completion, we get 7 voicemails. We will base the show around those 7 voicemail messages.
If we
Maybe
get
Dallas
3,
will come back.
If we get
Dallas
3
needs to come back.
voicemails from Bernabe,
no,
I
we
will
can't
add it
do.
all up. Yes.
All right, fine. We'll accept it. 7 messages from Bernabe. If we just need 7
play
messages.
them all.
Yeah, and we will talk about it. We might interject. We might interrupt. We might make fun of you.
We might not play him. We don't know.
Well,
I will play them. I will
Patrick
play
already
them.
said he'd play it.
All of them.
All of them.
He didn't say do it on the show though. He was going to
true.
just do it at home.
Cool.
That's true.
All right,
A
Simon
loophole.
says. I didn't say Simon says.
Gotcha, suckers. All righty then. We're not done here, so get ready for the video game episode. It's coming. I really
Later this week.
Later
2
this
days.
week. Alrighty then.
Sunday.
Ronnie, Patrick, and me, and who else? Along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, along with Carcass, who's smelling it up and rotting it up in the corner. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
2, 3, 4.